Good morning. So Father Chris is out on a well-earned vacation. We're doing morning prayer this morning, and I am in charge of talking to you about the reading. So I was nervous going into this, and then Father Chris told me it's just like talking about it with a bunch of your friends, and you all are a bunch of my friends, so that makes it a lot easier. In case you don't know me, my name is Thomas Norman. I've been a parishioner here going on 20 years. I've served as senior warden. I'm currently on the vestry. I've been a chorister for 15 or 16 years. And now I am discerning to be a deacon, so this is part of my journey. You'll probably be seeing me up here a little bit more often now. So the reading today is the parable of the wheat and the weeds, and we've had a lot of agricultural ones recently. So last week, Deacon Allen talked about the sower, the parable of the sower, and his message of the sower continuing to sow over and over and over again. That perpetual hope message really stuck with me. And this week we're going to talk about, once those seeds have been sown, how do we mind that garden? And if your garden is anything like mine, there is a small area that looks kind of pretty, and it may have a few vegetables in it, and then everything else around it is a hive of vines and weeds that you can't even see through. Althea and I have been working on getting our yard in order for many moons, and I've gotten to the point where I really need to hire somebody to do that. So if you have somebody that you trust, please come see me after the service. I really need help. Every time I try and go into the garden, though, I end up coming out with a massive amount of poison ivy all over me, and so I've started to stay away from it. But that's not really what we're talking about today. We're not talking about the kind of weeds that we see in our garden. I struggled with this reading a little bit because of the words that are used here, and any kind of weed doesn't seem, appropriate for just throwing away and burning. Anybody that's participated in our creation care ministry knows that a lot of the weeds that we see out there are really important to how our ecosystem works. So this is a specific weed that we're talking about today. This is the tare, and we actually had a hymn about it last week, which talks about the tares that are sown. And the tare is an insidious plant that grows alongside wheat and looks exactly like wheat the whole way it grows until it matures, until we start actually seeing the wheat come out in the wheat and the tare seeds come out in the tare. That's the only time that you can really tell the difference. So it's a lesson in trying to see what the fruit of the plant is doing for us. Because at the end of the growing cycle of the tare is when you really see what's coming out of it. Still, though, it was hard for me to grasp with the idea that anybody sown by whoever is gathered up at the end of the age and taken off and burned up. It's just not a message that I'm very comfortable with. But it's another translation trick. Sown by the devil, son of the devil is kind of in there a little bit, and that's hard to take. But it's kind of like a metaphor. It's kind of like saying, the home run derby was a few nights ago, and you might call someone that hits a bunch of home runs like the son of thunder. They're really good at getting the ball out of the park. But it's not who they are. That's not who they are as a person. It's just kind of an aspect. It's what they're doing right now. So it's important to see a focus again on what's coming out of these seeds rather than what the plant is. So I want to focus again on not paying attention to the growth of it and trying to judge the plant before it's finished. Try not to look around you and say, who among me? It was really easy for me to look at this reading and go immediately, oh, well, the wheat are the really good people, and the weeds are the really bad people, right? Those are all of the other people. And this is a lesson in ignoring that. It's in giving grace to the people around us and waiting for all the actions that they're doing that we may not understand, we may not see, waiting for them to bear fruit. And it was really when I started thinking about my daughter, Charlotte, going into high school and the friends that she's going to see, that she's going to form as she goes throughout high school, and the friends that I had that were close to me when I was in high school, that this message really sunk home to me. We talk about, in the reading, it talks about plants sown by the evil one, the bad plants. And I had a friend in high school who I guarantee you would look at and think, oh, that was probably one of the bad ones. It was most distinctly non-Christian. They were probably really anti-faith. But through interacting with them, I learned to challenge my beliefs. I learned to see things in a different light. I was challenged in my selfish ways. I'm an only child, and so I tend to think about things as about me. And they were a third child, so that was very much not their life. So every time I was being selfish or self-centered or ignorant, they were there to challenge me. And I really needed that at that point in my life. They were a true friend. But it wasn't until I started going back and thinking about the important friends that Charlotte will have in her life and this important friend that I had in my life that I realized that this person was forming me as a Christian. And they would not tell you that. They would not say, oh, that was my goal all along, Thomas. I was here to just point you on the right path. No, they were just being a really good friend. But the point is that this person that looks like a weed, you would not be able to tell their acts, the fruit of their actions, as different from any of the best wheat out there. This was a fantastic person. And without them, I wouldn't be so readily able to embrace other kinds of people in my life, to reach out to the people that need, to try and understand those that disagree with me, to change my opinions and to keep learning. Without them, they were a weed, but they were really a native flower that I needed in my life. So really it's about the fruit. This friend was not Christian, but their fruit was what showed them to be Christ-like. So just as we can't tell the difference between wheat and tares until they bear fruit, we need to have patience with the things that we see in our life, the actions that may irritate us, that may make us angry, may distract us from what we really want to be doing. We need to have patience with those. Maybe do some reflecting back in your life to see some people that challenged you early on and see if those actions have borne different fruit throughout your life. So this week in particular, I really want you to take that message to heart, to have patience with those around you. And don't go out there into the garden and start fighting vines like I do and come back with poison ivy. Because you really never know when those vines will turn into butterflies. Thank you.